What's up, guys? Welcome back to another I'd Popcorn for That review. I'm Chris,
I'm Nick.
and today we're talking about The Substance.
People are gonna love that.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
So this is the sophomore effort from Coralie Fargeat, who directed another movie called Revenge, and I think 2017. And if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend watching that as well. But yeah, we just got back from this, so this is kind of like a raw, out of theater reaction. So tell us what this movie is about.
A fading celebrity decides to use a black market drug, a cell replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself.
Yeah, it starts by visually telling you something in a really cool way. Like I just immediately at the opening, I was like, "That's a really nice, slick opening."
Yeah.
Just like showing you the egg and injecting the egg and it replicating itself with another. Because I don't know about you, but I didn't fully get the concept of this movie. Like I hadn't been watching like every single trailer that popped up. I kind of knew it was something that was up my alley, and I just kind of was avoiding things.
Yeah,
Did
same.
you get that that was what was going on before you saw this movie?
Yeah, I had a feeling, I didn't know to what extreme lengths it was gonna go, but yeah, I kind of got the gist of that was what was gonna happen. Because it was kind of like a better you or something. I was like, okay, so they're.
I thought it was going to be like you inject this in yourself and it turns you into this younger version of yourself.
Yeah.
And then maybe you change back and then you have to inject yourself again and you change back again, something like that. So I didn't get that it was like there are two, but but the two are one.
A perfect balance of 7 days each. The one and only thing not to forget. You are one.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's really interesting storytelling. This is something I can't think of anything quite like it. This is like an amazing, I thought, performance from Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. And I
They
like
really
that
put
it's
it all
played in
out
this.
there.
The substance.
I'm Sue.
They've really put it all out there. Whew. How did this work for you? This worked for me in a big way.
I bet it did. I don't know, man. I was thinking for a little bit it might be a little more style over substance, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it was good. I didn't expect I guess it's not really a twist because it's most of the movie, but it was super interesting and without getting into too many spoilers, just like quite a bit of body horror, which I wasn't really expecting.
Yeah, this is like the body horror-iest body horror movie I think I've ever seen. I mean, maybe like there's the movies like The Thing and things like that, that some Cronenberg stuff and things like that that come to mind, obviously for anybody that likes body horror movies. But this one really, like, it's not like you have to wait till the end and there's a big reveal that's something crazy. It's like a lot of this movie is some really insane body horror. It was really an experience to see this on a big screen, and it especially, without telling you anything about what is happening, the ending just culminates in a way that is just really keeps amping up the levels of insanity to breathtaking heights.
Yeah.
I could not believe it, man. It was like something out of a music video or something at some points. I don't know.
I know. I do think it did run a little long, or it ran a little long. There were a lot of scenes that are kind of like slow motion or just getting a lot of Margaret Qualley's butt while she's moving and stuff, or her legs that went on for a long time. Not that I'm complaining too much about that, but I feel like they could have cut out a little bit of time on the runtime overall.
I think it did kind of border on like not
A little
not that the individual
pornographic
thing.
sometimes,
It is a little pornographic. I mean, I don't care about that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think that the level of like anything you do, it's like the story could have been told in a shorter way. I liked the storytelling enough that I was fine with it being told at this length, but you could have cut out, like they could have cut things out on the cutting room floor and it would have been just fine because you were kind of like It's like you tell us a thing, and then tell us again and again and again, and then we move on to the next thing, and you tell us that again and again. But I never felt annoyed by it, or like it kept me entertained the whole time. But I can see how you could make a shorter movie out of this because it is 2.5 hours long almost.
Yeah, and you kind of see where it's going at a certain point. Like you know what's gonna happen. I feel like so. You just leads. Yeah, I mean, not yeah, but
there's kind of a twist ending that I didn't necessarily anticipate.
Not necessarily the ending, but like it midway through when stuff starts to roll, you're like, okay, this is gonna progress quite a bit faster. But it's like it keeps going on and on for quite a while.
And I think, and I hope this. I don't think this is. I would call this a spoiler, but I think that there was a cool, for such a gruesome body horror, grotesque, insane movie. I do think there was like an interesting story being told underneath it all, which I think is about like kind of a cautionary tale about not hating yourself, not hating the body that you're aging into, coming to terms with who you're going to be, who you are, and not feeling like you have to perfect everything. And I think that's something that's been told, but this was a crazy, interesting way to tell that.
Yeah.
And because it is very much a visual illustration of like somebody's self-hatred like materializing. And I think body horror tends to do that. Is like it's telling some kind of interesting story about humanity behind the story that it's saying in such a gross way. So I think this did that effectively for me. And I just thought, like you said jokingly, but I think you probably mean it too. Like Demi Moore really did like lay it all on the line. Like there's some moments here where she's really asked to do some crazy acting moments and really put it all out there. So
yeah,
that was cool. And Margaret Qualley too.
I think they're both great in it.
I don't even remember the last thing I saw Demi Moore in at all. So it was cool to see her. It kind of felt like bringing it back to.
Yeah, I like Dennis Quaid's character movie. Was like insane, over the top. Movie producer, or a television show producer, or whatever.
It stops.
And I think that's another point they made, as to they're always looking for the next best thing.
You're hired.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it was all super intentionally over the top. And I if you can vibe with it and get on board early on, like you're going to be fine with it. But you have to realize that this thing is kind of knowingly, extremely over the top at some points. But
yeah.
I don't think it's trying to fool anybody into thinking it's not that. But yeah, Dennis Quaid's character especially is like amping everything up to. He's like a televangelist or something, like amping everything he says up to 12. And I just thought visually, man. So there's two other things, at least visually and the sound design and the music and score and all that stuff. But the sound design, especially, like not just the music and score, but like how everything sounds so squishy and crunchy and disgusting, and it just adds a lot to it, and it's really amped up. And then the colors are really crisp. Everything looks like it's filmed on. I don't know. It's very digital. It's not like it's filmed on. It doesn't look old school or anything like that. But it adds to like the personality of this movie, I thought. But all that together, the score, the soundtrack, it just made for a really visually interesting thing that for me, I couldn't peel my eyes off the screen. I mean, I felt like I didn't move for 2.5 hours. Like I was just like you said, you can kind of see where things are going, but then as soon as you think you get what's going on, it will throw you a curveball. For me, anyway. I don't see how you could predict some parts of this toward the end. Yeah.
There's like a lot of up close shots throughout the movie.
And on top of up close, I was trying to think of a way to describe it, but like not just up close shots, but like really crazy camera placement. You know, you're seeing like up close shots of like a sink, or like it's a camera mounted to above a urinal, or like
right, yeah.
You know. Or close-ups of people's bodies where you can't figure out what part of their body you're looking at, especially as things go along, obviously more so. But yeah, some really interesting stuff with cameras and like fisheye lenses and wide-angle lenses, and I dig all that. I think, you know, I can see why somebody would definitely see this and say style over substance, possibly. But I think it was telling an interesting enough story, and that added to the personality of it. So I think it was worth it to take those crazy chances and throw on different crazy lenses just for the sake of making something look cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that kind of thing. So yeah, what is your score for this one?
I think I'm gonna go with like a 7.5.
I'm going super high with this one. I'm trying to resist the urge.
Yeah.
To give it a 10.
Oh wow.
I'm real close to giving it a 10 actually, but I feel like it's just because literally just left the theater moments ago. So I'm gonna give it a 9.5, and we'll see how it holds up on a rewatch. But that might be that might be a 10 for me. It just really it really worked for me in on almost every way. I can't think of much. I don't have many notes.
Okay. Yeah.
You should check that movie out yourself and see what you
sure.
think about it. I definitely don't want to spoil anything about it this early. So you should check it out yourself. And
like
but
horror.
be ready for some crazy body horror for sure. You got to know what you're getting yourself into a little bit. We appreciate you watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. And subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video. That helps us out a lot. And comment below, certainly, if you go watch this movie. We would love to hear what you think about it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Revenge yet, go see that too. I think it's on Shudder, so watch that too. You can comment below about that. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks.